All right. So we completed the agent passive profitability worksheet at the top, and we got you guys got your numbers. And then now we're back here. And essentially what we did was we gathered your annual net earnings from the top portion, line 5, the path to profitability worksheet, and we times that by 12. And we have an annual income for Christian 124,200. And that's off of making that's about what? How many transactions a month?
1.76.
Yes. And that's if the transactions after your split, after your cut, if you make 5,775 per transaction, you need to do about 21 deals. And that is would you say 1.79 deals a month?
Right.
All right. And then Randu, you have an annual income of you would like to make 182,400. And that's because you would like to make about a good 15,000 a month from real estate. And that's if the transactions are 5,775 per deal. After all the fees, the broker fee and all the other fees come out, that's what the remainder amount you'll be making. And now you're looking at about 31.56 transactions a year.
And it was 58. It was 31.58 if I do it how you did it.
Okay. 58, 56. Let's just leave it like that. I like what you guys did. It was faster. I was doing it from the income, but either route, it still ends up, both of the numbers end up being the same. It's just the point, the 0.58, it's like a 0.02. Yeah, 0.2 difference. So, but either route, it's still looking about, that means you need to do about 2.63 deals a month, 31.56 a year.
Okay.
And we can round those numbers up, but we'll just keep it flat. We'll just keep it, we'll do 31. We'll just keep it even for this example. So good job, guys, on hitting these numbers, calculating this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually work this entire sheet until we get down here. And this is going to tell you, if you see all the way at the bottom, it will tell you that this is how many people per day whom you need to reach out to hit your goals. These goals right here, 21 deals a year, 31 deals a year. Now, since taking more listings is the recipe for success in real estate, the ratio should be 60-40, basically listings, buyer side. So this would be listings will go here and buyers will go here. Now you guys did two different numbers. So we are going to calculate, Christian, go ahead and calculate your number. Randall, if you want to go first for this one, you can go ahead and do that. So remember to make sure the ratio is 60-40. So Christian, you have 21 deals you're supposed to do a year. Randall, you have 31 deals you have to do a year. So what is 60%?
12.6.
12.6 for you, Christian?
Yes.
Randall, how much is 60% of 31 for you?
It's 18.6.
18.6. All right, 1 second, 18.6. All right, so this should be pretty simple to do the remainder amount, but
8.4.
8.4. Randall.
12.4.
Okay, good job. All right, so this is how you break it down, buyers and sellers, and it says it right here that listings is the recipe for success. Does anybody kind of know why? I know we talked about it before, but why do you think listings is that recipe for success? Real quickly.
You get more commission.
You can control the commission. I'll say that.
Well, sellers normally have to move as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you can also get another transaction when they buy.
Ooh,
correct.
I like that, Randall. So you guys both said two different things, but you're both correct. Just make sure I'll explain it the way you guys you said it a certain way, but I want to make sure you thoroughly understand what you're saying. So you're correct, Christian. You can control the commission, essentially. It doesn't mean you're going to get more commission, but you can go ahead and say, hey, my fee is this amount. In the MLS, we always see, Christian, like we talked about earlier, we're seeing about an average about 2.5% for the when another agent brings a buyer. So the buyer's agent in the MLS, everybody says how much commission you are going to get. So you don't have as much control of how much money you make per each deal. Now, on the other side, you don't know what the other agent's going to get. That other agent can be charging the seller 3% or 4%, sometimes even higher, because they're the ones working with the seller and they're telling them, hey, this is my fee, this is how much I charge, and how much do you want to charge the other agent? So whenever I'm having conversations with seller, I pretty much already tell them it's a flat fee of 3%. And keep in mind, I may negotiate that up depending on, you know, what's going on. I may say, hey, I'm able to do this, or I can come up with a time frame or a deadline. If I get the house under contract within, let's say, a week or two, you can always put an incentive there. If I could get the house under contract within a week, then my commission will be 4%. And then you can say something in regards to maybe it's less if it takes you a little bit longer to market and get it under contract. So I do know some agents that will say, if I get it under contract within the weekend or within a certain time frame, this is my fee. The longer it sits on the market, this will be my fee. So you can actually control how much you make. Keep in mind, this is a technique and a strategy. It works differently for every agent. So that's something to definitely kind of think about and, you know, figure out your strategy and how it worked for you. Everybody's different. Everybody does different things. I charge my clients off the back of 3% or more when I'm working with the seller. Now, when I'm working with the buyer, the fee's already in the MLS. So unfortunately, sometimes you can negotiate for that buyer to pay you higher, but it can be difficult, you know, because they have like their other fees that they're thinking about off the top of their heads. So it can be difficult. Sometimes I've seen some other agents, they'll try to negotiate higher. They'll even reach out to me as a seller's agent and try to see if the seller will pay them more for bringing them a buyer. So I've seen that happen, but it's it's much more difficult than when you're talking to the seller and charging the seller. It's usually a little easier because the seller's getting the money from the proceeds. So sometimes they're not as, you know, they're able to expend a little bit more money sometimes. Another reason why is because you're marketing, when you represent a buyer, you're driving around, you're kind of, nobody knows who you are, and you're driving around and there's no advertising really happening. When you represent a buyer, a seller, you're putting the house on the market, you're putting the MLS, you're also putting a sign sometimes outside as well, but you're marketing and trying to sell the house all over, you know, the internet. Maybe you're advertising in a newspaper, maybe you're advertising on a popular real estate website. Either route, you are basically, when you're advertising the home for sale, you're also advertising you and your services as that agent. Because now you can market and say, hey, my new listing just came on the market. You can call around the same neighborhood and try to get another deal from it as well. So a lot of agents, what they'll do is they'll use that listing to get other listings. And like Randall also said, you can get another transaction from it as well. So if the seller needs to buy another home, that's another deal that you have. Keep in mind, when you're doing open houses, when you're just marketing the home on sign in general, buyers are going to be reaching out to you. So that's another position you want to be in, is you want to be in a position where people can reach out to you for the property, and then you can possibly represent them if they don't have an agent. So there's a rule out there that for every listing, you should get a deal or two from it. So that's either a deal maybe from the seller, if it's not from the seller. And I think this rule doesn't even include the seller buying another property. This rule just includes that you should get a buyer from it and they buy a house from you, or you should get a listing from it. So that's the reason why you want to kind of focus on more listings, because you're marketing and you're advertising yourself as well when you put that house on the market. So that's the reason why some people will just take listings, even if they're not going to get paid from it. Maybe they're discounting their fee heavily, or maybe they're doing a courtesy listing. People will do courtesy listings or discount their fees heavily because they are going to do whatever they can to get another deal from it. So either they're going to get another buyer from it or a seller from it. And they're probably marketing and canvassing that neighborhood like crazy, letting people know they just put that house on the market, between postcards and making phone calls. and probably knocking on some doors as well. I know we're in the pandemic right now, but people are still taking different strategies, still taking some of those old school approaches that work to get them another deal from their first listing, from the initial listing. All righty, now that we've worked this number, let's jump on to the next section. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know, and we can talk about it further offline. But essentially, when you have a listing, it's a lot easier not to be a silent agent.
Yep.
Yes. You are marketing yourself with that listing. Now,
That's a secret agent.
secret agent, right. But you won't be when you have a listing. You won't be a secret agent. You'll be marketing yourself as that neighborhood expert. Okay, the 2-1. This ratio means for every 2 listings that you take, you'll sell 1. Therefore, to sell, now I'm going to work this first part with y'all, but you're going to have to tell me the second part of this sentence, okay? I'll do the first fill in the blank for you guys, all right? Now, it says, this ratio means for every 2 listings you take, you'll sell 1. Therefore, to sell 12.6, Christian, and Randall 18.6, you'll need to take blank listings. What number is in this blank? For every 2 listings, you'll sell 1. So therefore, to sell 12 listings, Christian, we'll say it's 12.6, but think about that number.
I need 25.2
All
to
right.
sell 12.6.
All right. What'd you get, Randall? For your 18.6, in order for you to sell 18.6, how many listings do you actually need to take?
37.2.
All right. And I didn't do the calculations myself. It seems, I think it's pretty accurate, but tell me what you did. Christian, you go first this time to get your number.
Yeah, what I did is take 12.6 and multiply by 2.
Good job. Randall, it looks like you did the same thing. And I'm going to just double check real quickly. Good job, guys. So you both did it correctly. So you guys are understanding this. Now, it gets easier because you're essentially almost doing the same thing for each of the other lines. So another 2-1. This ratio means for every 2 listing appointments you go on, you'll list 1. Therefore, to take, I want you guys to do this first part, this fill in the blank. I want you to do this one first. Therefore, to take blank listings, you'll need to go on blank listing appointments. What number goes right here in the first blank?
That would be 25.2.
Good job, Christian. What goes right here for you, Randall? The first blank.
$37.2.
Okay, awesome. So Randall, you're gonna do the first, you're gonna do this one first. We're gonna, you guys are gonna flop. I said flop. You guys are gonna switch. It's like, what is flop? Okay, so therefore to take 37.2 listings, Randall, you'll need to go on how many appointments, listing appointments?
74.4.
Good job. How much for you, Christian?
51.
It's a flat 51, correct?
Yep.
All right. Randall, how did you get this number?
37.2 times 2.
Awesome. Christian, how'd you get this number?
It's 25.2 by 2.
Divided by 2, and you got 51?
No, it's 50.4 actually.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I said, it seems a little.
Yeah, 50.4.
Okay, all righty. So does this make sense now?
Yes.
This first portion, okay. All right, so you guys are gonna work the rest of it. I'm gonna be quiet. I want someone who wants to go first to read, because then whoever doesn't do the first one, you're gonna do the second one. So this next one, I mean, this one right here. So who wants to do the first fill in the blank and then a second fill in the blank?
And it said the ratio means for every 5 leads you generate, you get an appointment.
Mhm.
Therefore, to book an appointment, you have to do 5 times 50.4.
Mhm. How much is that?
50.4 times 5.
So what's in
That should be
oh,
252.
okay, which blank, where does that go, Christian?
I mean, where it goes?
Go ahead and read it out loud, because you're the first line.
Therefore, to book 50.4 listing,
Mhm.
you have to generate 252 leads.
All right, good job, Randall, your turn.
To book 74.5 or 74.4 listings, have to do 372.5 leads.
372. All righty. All right, Randall, you're gonna do the next one first, and then Christian, you'll go after he completes both blanks. And go ahead and read the sentence out loud, and then you can come back and fill in the
This
blank.
ratio means that for every 12 people you talk to, you'll get a lead. Therefore, to generate 372 leads, it's 4464. You'll need to have 4,464 contacts.
Did I do that right? 4,460?
64.
64. Sorry, see, almost messed up your numbers, All right, what about you, Christian?
For every 252 leads,
Mhm.
you need 3,024 contacts.
3,024 contacts.
Yeah.
All right. So guys, does that make sense? These ratios and these numbers and how we're breaking it down. We're about to get to the last portion. This is going to be probably that aha moment. And as of right now, how does it sound reaching out to 4,464 contacts? Randall. Be honest.
It's a lot of work. It sounds like a lot of work.
What about you, Christian? How does 3,024 sound to you?
It's a lot, but if we are doing it continuously in a spread of 1 year, where you have 365 days. So if I really want to see what I need to do daily, in a year, I need to do 8.28, which is.
Oh, so you did the whole thing. Christian jumped. Okay, hold on. Slow down, slow down. Listen. So I'm going to go ahead and read the last paragraph first, but I like what you're saying. Essentially, it's a little bit more digestible. Obviously, this is the numbers yearly. This is how many people you need to be talking to yearly. And how do we know it's yearly? Because we're talking about 21 transactions a year for you, Christian, 31 transactions a year for you, Randall. So as of right now, we're calculating all this stuff on a year. So now this section is going to basically show you how to make it more digestible. Okay. Because of course, saying contacting over 3,000 people a year sounds like a lot. Contacting basically about 4,500 people a year. That sounds like a whole lot. But if you see this last paragraph, it says this: based on the fact that you will take 4 weeks of vacation this year, that leaves 11 months left for business. So Exit wants you to take a month off, whether you do it back to back, you do those 4 weeks back to back, or you spread it out throughout the year. Exit's making it that it's possible that you're not working every single day of the year. So I know, Christian, you said about 365. What would the leap years about 366? We're not even calculating off of that time frame. We're literally calculating off of 11 months. So
which is 335 days.
and this says it right here, since there are approximately 20 working days in a month. So we're also calculating off of Monday through Friday, working days, not weekends. That leaves 220 working days for the year. So that's
Okay.
11 months times 20. So because we're doing 20 working days, we're not calculating Monday through Friday. We're not doing 30 working days, basically 30, 31. We're doing less than that. We're giving you your weekends to breathe. When you divide and these are your contacts. So I'm going to go ahead and do this because you guys already know this is a number that goes right here, 4,464 contacts for you, Randall. Christian, 3,024 contacts for you, Christian, into 220 working days. That equals what? And that
I need to,
Go
for
ahead.
me, I need to make 13.75 calls per day,
13.75.
approximately per day.
How much for you, Randall? Oh, I did that wrong. Go ahead. Out of 220 working days. So
20.29.
all right. All right. So, and what we'll do is I'll center this. So guys, this is just based on what your income of what you want to be making in real estate and how many transactions you would like to be doing a year. Ooh, I did that wrong. 224. Let me center this for you, Christian. All right. So it just gives you an idea. Now, how does it sound saying that you need to talk to, more so 13 to 14 people a day, Christian?
I
And
can
Randall.
do it. I can do it
Mm,
because some of them, honestly, you don't spend more than 10 minutes.
Okay.
Some of them is 5 minutes to articulate what you want to articulate and establish a contact.
Okay.
So it's doable. It's just a block like 2 hours every
what-
day.
And what did we say? 3 hours a day standardly is what you're supposed to be doing Monday through Friday. So that's what, 15 hours a week, blocking that time frame to make your phone calls. Randall, how does that 20, I guess yours is a little bit more than 20, but how does that sound? 20, talking to 20 people a day about real estate?
I mean, it's certainly possible.
Mhm.
I would just have to probably cut out a block
Mhm.
of time,
Mhm.
where that's just what I'm completely focused on.
Mhm.
Like you said, 15 hours a week. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, guys. So it's really about, my apologies. It's really about having that discipline and blocking your schedules. If you don't time block, it does make things very difficult. But with us doing this exercise, just like the video says, that when you do the exercise, it helps you get back on track when you're off. Now, we know that sometimes some weeks get busier than the other weeks, but the thing is not to throw in a towel. You now know, okay, I missed 3 days, or maybe I missed 5 days because I missed last week completely. You can get back on track easily and say, okay, now moving forward, I need to talk to this many people a day about real estate. Obviously, some of your numbers, Randall, your numbers are a little bit high, but you have a high, goal that you're trying to set, which is, it's not really high. It's just really about, can you do this goal realistically? Are you going to make a time to do it? If not, make a slight adjustment down, but still hit the goal. So if you're saying, Monique, 20 may be too much for me, because keep in mind, if you miss a day, you should make up the 20 the next day. You should try to find time maybe on a Saturday or the weekend, or maybe on the evening to make up that 20 contacts a day. So if that's too high, it's okay to say, hey, I'll aim for 10. because you're not doing it at all right now, it could be a little bit difficult. You don't want to get flustered. It's kind of like when you go back to it's like when you're working out and you haven't worked out in like a year or two. And then you go to the gym, you're like, I'm going to go Monday through Friday every day. And it could seem like a bit much when you're first starting out. So maybe instead you say, hey, I'm going to do 3 days and then I'm going to increase to 4 days. And then I'm going to increase to 5 days a week. So that's another thing you can do, is that you can work your way up to this number if this number is a little bit too much. Because keep in mind, the 20 this number you have right there, right here, is new contacts. It's not the same contacts. Because you need to be getting in touch with total 4,464 a year. And if that's a little too high, make some adjustments and then work your way up. And then as you become better at it and as you become more disciplined, because it takes about 21 days to break a habit. Once you know for a fact that no matter what, Randall's going to get up and he's going to make these phone calls Monday through Friday, or if he misses a day, he's going to make it up. Work your way up to that number if the 20 is too much. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
It's off because it's starting to mess up a little. So there is a it's called like, there's like a quote or a saying out there. It's really about bite-sized pieces. I think there's like a quote or something like, something in reference to how do you eat an elephant, or you eat something very, very, very large. You take bite-sized pieces, and this is what this is. It's really helping you get, taking bite-sized pieces of how many people you need to be talking to a day so you can hit your contacts. If you put 4,464 up and says, hey, I need to reach out to this many people, you can immediately become overwhelmed. So that's why it's good to break it down daily. All right. And keep in mind, like I said, this is also 11 months. This is off of 11-month scale. So obviously, if you're not taking 4 weeks of vacation, you could probably spread this number out, Randu, and you as well, Christian, you could spread this number out. And if you're only going on a vacation for 1 month or 2 weeks, not 1 month, sorry. If you're only going on vacation for 1 week or 1 month, you can actually rework this number. You can do it off of more working days. You can increase that. Now, you basically can increase the days. So maybe instead of it being 220, maybe you do it off of 300 working days. So you would take the same number, that 4,464, and divide that by 300 instead of 220. Does that make sense, guys? Hello? Can y'all hear me? Okay. Can you guys hear me? Make sure that okay, you can hear me. Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure when I took my headphones off, I felt like the connection, I couldn't hear. For some reason, it felt like you guys went quiet. All righty, guys. So you have your goals here now. What I'm going to do is I'll send you a copy of this video. And if for whatever reason you have any questions, reach out to me. And also keep this in mind. This is also based off this price point. So if you happen to do deals that are higher, keep in mind that will change the amount of people that you have to talk to a day. And of course, if you end up doing deals lower than this, then you're going to have to increase the amount of people you're talking to daily. So just keep that in mind, that this is just saying this is based off, these numbers are based off the average price points in your area. Randall, your price points are a little bit higher, so you may be able to get away with doing a little bit less than calling 20 people a day. Talking to, not calling, contacting and talking to 20 new people a day. So you may be able to get away with a different amount, because the price points in the DMV area, the DC area, is more like, I think it's about 600,000. It may be higher than that, give or take 550 or 600,000. So you can actually rework this numbers based on a certain price point, or maybe a community that you're trying to farm and get into that is maybe it's a much higher price point. But if you end up going into a lower community or a lower price point neighborhood, keep in mind you need to go ahead and redo this again at a lower price point, because you don't want to say, oh, Monique, you told me I only need to talk to 13 people a day, but the price point doesn't work. So of course your numbers, how much you make a year, is going to be off. All right. Any questions, guys, before we wrap up? This was a good session. I'm happy we worked through it together. And I'm happy that I made some mistakes and you guys corrected me. That means you are paying attention. I like that. Good, good, good. Randall, any questions at all? I can't hear you guys. It's very strange. You can hear me. Okay. All right. Hello? Can you hear me now? Okay. I'm gonna put my I'm gonna put my headphones back on so I can't hear you. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes,
I can't. Okay. For some reason, when I took the headphones off, I couldn't hear you guys. All right.
it was
Uh,
still connected to your headphone.
Yeah, it was very strange. So I'm going to watch the video and I'm going to be hearing myself asking y'all 100 times. And the video is going to hear it. You guys are going to hear me asking, can you hear me, hear me, hear me? But
Yes,
I could not hear it for whatever reason. So hope this was a fun, good time for you.
yeah, it was.
Good, good. Any questions though, Christian and Randall, before we wrap up?
No questions.
No questions?
Yes, no.
Does this make more
Thank
sense
you.
now? No problem. Does this make sense
So,
of why you gotta
yeah,
be making the calls?
yeah, we're gonna get the list, the
Yes.
calling list.
Yes. So we have, now that you've done that, we're gonna go through, we need to schedule a session of practicing our scripts. And I'm also gonna send you guys some of those internet leads as well. And we're gonna do some live sessions. We have our call nights like we spoke about. We try to do them on Mondays and Tuesdays. Moving forward, we're probably gonna try to do it at least once a week, maybe just Tuesdays. But regardless, you can hop on no matter where you're at, and you can go ahead and try to make those calls. So you have your numbers in your head. So whenever I'm talking to you, I'm going to say, hey, how many people do you need to talk to a day? Randall, how many people do you need to talk to a day? And keep in mind, well, at least working days, Monday through Friday. And if the numbers seem too much for you, let's come up with a new number. We can rework that spreadsheet again. Regardless, doing some type of activity is better than doing nothing at all. So of course, like the video says, if you're aim for nothing, you're going to get exactly that, 100% of nothing. But if you actually have some type of target and you try to reach it, you're going to fall somewhere, even if you don't hit the exact number, you'll at least get close or at least halfway. And then we can analyze and say, hey, maybe we can start to analyze your weaknesses, because we can start to say, oh, maybe you're not saying something right, Christian. Randall, maybe you're not, asking for more business from your past clients. There's different strategies that you can be taken to market and target, those potential sellers and those buyers as well. And it's easier to analyze when you're actually trying. If you're not doing anything at all, I can't analyze or tell you, hey, tweak this or do this, moving forward. So thank you guys for, for talking, tuning in and doing this path to profitability worksheet. I know it was a little bit longer than what we anticipated, but I was happy that we was able to get 2 different examples done at once. So now you can literally say, okay, if I change my numbers up, this is how it will work, and vice versa. I like that we did 2 different people. I think that was perfect. And I'm going to cut the recording off for right now, and then we can basically talk offline. Thanks, guys.